If visiting America, what is something that person should never do? I talk to foreigners often and get this question from time to time. I was wondering if you all had some good ones. I always tell them if pulled over by the police in America, absolutely never get out of your vehicle unless asked to by the police. Don't use politics as a conversation starter. That's something we only really discuss with family in person. I was surprised how often US and world politics came up as an opening conversation while traveling in Europe last year. You can buy alcohol in any store in town, but you will get the long dick of the law if you open that puppy up in public. Don't drive on the left side of the road. That seems simple, but in high school, we had a British family move here because of work, and for the first week, they damn near crashed every day because they would go the wrong way. The legal drinking age in the United States is a firm 21 everywhere. So if you come from a country where the legal age is 18 and are under 21, and you attempt to buy any alcohol, you will be unable to. Attempt taxation without representation. Don't go to dangerous neighborhoods because you saw them on TV. Not a foreign visitor, but a naive friend from Colorado came to visit in California and wanted to see the gangs on Crenshaw in South Central Los Angeles because he'd seen it on some cop show. Yeah, no, we're not driving through the hood so you can take pictures of the thugs and poor people. He's a Latino guy too, so the last thing I needed was someone thinking he was cruising and looking for a fight. Back in my MMO days, a Scottish friend of mine went to Atlanta once and called a black guy boy. I guess you just call people boy in Scotland? Yeah, but do not call black people boy. It's perceived as racist, talking down to them, and it's a good way to get in a fight, especially in the South. The price marked on the shelf does not include taxes. What you see is not what you pay. That's good advice for some Americans. Had friends from New Hampshire visit us in Missouri, early 20s age, and they hated shopping here because we don't include sales tax in the sale price. Then me, never knowing it any differently, couldn't believe their way of pricing. Don't carry a large amount of cash on you or carry only big bills. This is so common in Japan, a cash-based society. A student of mine here in Japan told me her husband had his wallet stolen in Boston when he was carrying mostly cash. Major cities and large stores, restaurants are very card-friendly. It's safer and easier. Disobey park rules regarding nature and wildlife. If you're in a national, state, any park, follow the rules. Stay on the trail, don't litter. Don't touch any wild plant life. Camp. Cook, dump, use the toilet in designated spaces, etc. The reason for the park is for preservation and for you to walk, relax, and breathe in it. It is not to be used to take a giant cooler full of cheap beer, drink half of it, leave it, and then take pictures of you knocking over a large rock that's over 1 million years old. Also, if you're one of the 10 people waiting in the World War II monument in DC, the other 90 people are reading the signs that say, "No swimming," and watching with severe disappointment. The word cunt is a lot more offensive in the US and Canada than in other English-speaking nations. Don't use it casually. Do not haggle for prices except at pawn shops, secondhand shops, car dealerships, flea markets, and internet, phone, cable providers. You will be mocked if you do that anywhere else, as it is considered rude. Don't try to make it cross-country in a day, especially during extreme weather. I've talked to foreign visitors who crossed into Texas from Louisiana on Interstate 10 and thought the sign that says El Paso 857 miles was a joke. A few from personal accounts of people I know. Do not think it's acceptable to bribe someone in authority. It's not even a joking matter in the US. I grew up in a country where it was an unwritten rule that these things could be negotiated, and there were telltale signs to know whether said authority was open to it. Coworker of mine knows a guy, comes from a European country where this is commonplace, that was in the US and had to be escorted out of a shopping mall because he catcalled a group of girls who also happened to be underage. Yeah, that's a no-go here. Maybe it will be tolerated at a nightclub, but in public, you'll likely face repercussions. It's just not culturally acceptable. Note, that's not to say it doesn't happen in the US, as I know it's a problem in a lot of major cities. Hit your child in public. I'm not condoning physical punishment against kids. I just know from experience that in some cultures that's a norm. But if you do it here, chances are you will be confronted by an irate bystander. Smell bad. It sounds like a joke, but Americans are really unaccepting of any type of BO. We probably won't actually say anything to you, but we will automatically dislike you. Do not cut in line. We are not British. We won't just shake our heads and mutter under our breath. Americans will absolutely start a fight over line cutting. It will become a whole big thing. People will film it on their phones, and boom. There you are all over Reddit, getting beat up because you couldn't just wait your turn in line for a few minutes. Don't try to haggle. Unless you're at a garage sale, car dealership, or paying out of pocket for medical care, you really can't haggle in the US. Don't go without tipping, especially at restaurants. Though it's higher in some states, the national minimum wage of tipped workers is $2.13. It's not considered an extra on top of their pay, but the source of the majority of their pay. Don't complain that taxes aren't included in the price. I know it's annoying, but the poor souls who have to work retail didn't set US tax policy. Don't expect to get into bars or clubs under 21. In many countries, people can still go to these places underage and not drink. But in the US, the vast majority of places, other than restaurants that serve alcohol, will not allow anyone in under 21. Don't smoke around children. Definitely do not pester, feed, or endanger a wild animal, and don't harm someone's animal. Kicking or mistreating a dog, cat around here is grounds for fighting. Please show respect and courtesy around monuments, parks, and historical sites, be they local, state, or federal. Our history might be young, but it's still our history.